Welcome to Module 3. As everyone knows, the best things in life come in threes, so that bodes well. If I were to sum up this module in one word, it would be vulnerability. A trait that's wonderful when you're bearing your soul to your significant other, but not so much in the world of cybersecurity. Vulnerabilities cost your company money, like a lot. Adam Lashinsky of Fortune magazine recently put things into perspective. The average total cost of a data breach in the US in 2014 was $5.85 million, according to research from IBM and the Ponemon Institute. And in 2017, it's estimated to be $7.35 million. The WannaCry ransomware attack alone, which crippled computers in more than 150 countries in May 2017, would cost as much as $4 billion, according to some estimates. As Inigo Montoya so aptly stated in The Princess Bride, "You told me to go back to the beginning, so I have." Our beginning starts with step number 1. What are your vulnerabilities? As you might have guessed, there is a process for this. And yes, we share that process with you here in Unit 1. In addition, we'll review how to set up a schedule to scan for vulnerabilities, create reports, plan for any needed remediation, and configure the scanning tools you will be using. All this will prepare you to tackle the exam objectives, take any given scenario, and implement an information security vulnerability management process. Effective vulnerability management hinges on the accurate assessment of risk. If you don't get this right, you won't see an attack coming. Conducting relevant risk evaluation and threat management procedures will enable you to visualize the threats your organization could face and allow you to be aware of the level of risk exposure. Vulnerability management requires you to pinpoint technical and configuration issues a malicious user could exploit. It's important to keep organizational and regulatory objectives in mind when identifying requirements. What are you required by law to comply with? You will need to consider state, regional, and industry-specific regulations. Failing to comply with legal stipulations can result in legal issues, which are otherwise easily avoidable. Companies in the US need to comply with the rules mandated by the Sarbanes-Oxley Act. Federal agencies are governed by the Computer Security Act of 1987. Industry-specific laws require healthcare and financial service companies to implement security measures to protect customer privacy. Credit card issuing organizations must comply with payment card industry data security standard regulations relating to credit card payments. Regular testing of security policies during development and execution is necessary to periodically assess efficacy and ensure alignment with security objectives. Remember, without consistent re-evaluation, you won't know if new vulnerabilities have appeared. If applicable, be wise and adhere to the compliance checklist provided by regulators. This compliance will help ensure all your mandatory controls are in place. Security tools such as vulnerability scanners, IDS, and SIEM sometimes enable you to develop a compliance template and will also monitor systems and issue alerts for deviations. Check the manual for options in this realm. The next level to consider is what is a corporate security policy framework to protect data and information systems. This document should define objectives, general risks, implications, recommendations, and responsibilities. A top priority: build security awareness among every employee. You are only as strong as your weakest link. We know an informed employee also tends to be a much more judicious user who is less likely to fall prey to phishing and social engineering attempts. To ensure this happens, build a plan that focuses on adequate leadership training for department heads. This important line of defense can help coordinate and establish detailed policies based on the guidelines within the corporate policy. For example, typically human resource development's responsibility is to ensure both recruits and those who leave the organization comply with security requirements. So, organizing security awareness training programs for employees can be an important part of that role. But be wary. Not all sections of a corporate security policy should be in the public domain. Incident response, including disaster recovery and procedures, and details about the security methods are best kept confidential. In-depth knowledge of an organization's defense plans can aid hackers in launching an attack. This information is best kept close to the vest, as they say.